What is that right there anyway? What up, nerds? My name is Leslie Smith. Welcome to The Nerdy Narrative, a channel where we talk about all sorts of fun bookish related content in the science fiction, fantasy, and horror genres. If you missed Friday's video, I finally got my 300 subscriber plus celebratory Q&A posted for you all to enjoy. So if you haven't seen it, I'll slide a link up there for you if you are interested in checking that out. If this is your first time visiting, I hope you enjoy what you see. If you do, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I also get to do my very first patron shout out. So I was a little ninja and I finally got brave enough to make my Patreon go live. So the very first one is Stephenie Richards, who is another amazing booktuber here on the platform, which if you haven't checked her out, you definitely should. I will have her linked in the description box down below. And the next two patron shout outs are two of my most hardcore subscribers, and that's Eveline Hecklinger. Oh, I hope I said her name right. And the Cat Lady Book Nook. And the fourth one is my booktube best friend, Michael Knipp. There's no way you've been on this channel without hearing his name in almost every video. Housekeeping done. Let's talk about what I read last week. Real talk. I had issues reading last week. Thought maybe I burned myself out because I pretty much just sat and read Peace Talks beginning to end without taking many breaks in between. Then I just thought it was me. I thought I'm just not in the mood to read. But what ultimately I think it might have been was the book that I chose. You know, isn't it human nature to blame something else when life's not going your way? Who am I to break that habit now? Yeah, I'm 100% throwing The Lies of Locke Lamora under the bus. This was the cause of my slump. And how I figured it out is I picked up a pretty amazing book last night and I was in like Flynn. I don't want anybody to think that there's anything wrong with this book. I actually don't think it's the book. I think it's the timing. I was just not in the mood for this type of story right now. And that's okay. I am not gonna fault the book. I'm gonna blame the timing. I'm gonna put it back on the TBR shelf. And I'm gonna pull it out at another time. I enjoyed pieces of it enough for me to know that it's the kind of humor that I enjoy. I've just gotta find the right time to pick this one up, and I bet I'm going to absolutely love it. I kept trying to push myself to read more of it and see if it swept me away. I should have picked up on my mood sooner and just realized, you know what? Put it down. There's no rush to read it. Go get another book. Which leads me into more of why I also think I was experiencing a reading slump. I need to quit jumping onto every readathon and read along because I'm one of those people that have a hard time saying no, and I'm also a huge joiner. And if I see one of my friends doing something, I want to be a part of it and I want to support them. I think I just bit off more than I can chew. Besides that, I overwhelmed myself. I have fallen behind on every single solitary read-along, including one involving my favorite book. I mean, that's just a travesty, right? I'm well on par to finish by Thursday when we have the final live stream for The Way of Kings. And then we'll be moving on to Words of Radiance, which gonna shed the anxiety of trying to catch up on all the read-alongs that I wanted to get to, and I'm just going to settle down and do the Storm Along 2020. So if you've read this book and you haven't been to any of the other live streams, this is the one to hit. It's Thursday night over on Christy Luis's channel, which I'll have in the description down below. It's the final one for the completed book. I think I trapped myself and added to the slump by saying to myself, you're not reading the same number of books you used to read per week. What's up with that? And I was thinking of it in a negative light. I'm like, what's wrong with me? Why am I suddenly reading so much less? Okay, well, you know, I thought about that. What's changed? When I realized what had changed, and it actually came to me while I was sitting and reading The Way of Kings, I've slowed down reading. I used to get so excited that I would just fly through a book and I would miss more information than I would retain because I was so excited and just reading so fast. Alright, enough belly aching. Let's talk about some books I did finish. Yes. Inuyasha. As I've mentioned this month, Una from the CodeX Cantina and I have been working on reading the Inuyasha manga. And this past week we completed volumes 14 through 20. For audiobooks, I am still listening to Death Mask by Jim Butcher. Of the first 5 Dresden books, it is the best and by far my favorite. I bet when I finish this reread that Death Mask will still be in my top 5. It has my favorite villains in it. It's got some of my favorite side characters are introduced, and it's just a fantastic tale. So finally, let's talk about the book that was my saving grace, that swooped in and saved me from my reading slump. Wildcat by J.P. Harker. It's book 1 in the Caledon saga. I've been super excited to read this book. A lot of the channels that I watch have already read it. They've actually read the first 2 or 3 in the series and really have enjoyed it. I've been looking forward to it. I was a little scared when I cracked the cover last night. I'm like, what if I don't like it? You know, what if this slump continues? But that turned out not to be the case. I got 25 pages in and I was hooked already. There's a lot of times I don't get hooked until 50 to 100 pages in, but this one just caught my attention straight out the gate. I mean, the cover itself is gorgeous. She looks like she's about to come through this cover and whoop my ass and look good while doing it. I haven't read enough to be able to adequately tell you what the plot is yet. I've been witness to Ria's first battle and just kind of getting to know a little bit about her and her family. I cannot wait to have some time this afternoon to really sit down and read this sucker. And that'll do it for my weekly reading update, guys. It was still a good week. Even though I experienced a slump, I do believe I nailed down what the problems were that caused it. I really think that knowledge is going to help me prevent that in the future, or at least recognize the symptoms a little sooner and take action. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. In the description box below, I have a link to my Discord. You are welcome to come over and engage with the rest of the Nerdy Narrative family. We would love to have you. Don't forget to drop a comment below. Tell me what you read last week, what you're reading this week, and if you have some suggestions for avoiding a reading slump. Any experiences or information you can share would be greatly appreciated. I hope you have a great week, a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you.